Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I am freshly coming off of playing the game for around 5 hours since it released for testers or Wave 1 testers. And wow. Now, it's like 1 a.m. right now. So if I sound dead inside this video, it's because I'm a little bit dead. But Clover RPG, I almost said Type Clover, is honestly one of those games where it's like you kind of just have to play it to really understand. And I don't want to just sit here and rub it all inside your face. Oh, look at me, I'm playing the game. I actually want to give you general information on it and also answer questions on it. So before I even start discussing some of the stuff about this game, because this is really just going to be like an information video where I have the footage showcasing what I'm doing, I want to say is if you have any questions on the game, any questions, feel free to comment them below, and if I can answer them, I will answer them. Because right now the game is it is not even near its like full potential. The content inside the game is like less than half what one of the developers said. So if it's less than half, and the impact that it's leaving on me, even though it's less than half, it's just wow. Like the potential for this game is going to be very, very crazy. So enough of that. I'm actually going to be breaking this video down into 3 parts, and I'm going to start with the content, then I'm going to talk about the progression, and next I'm going to talk about the combat. And I also want to state this one more time: if you have any questions, literally just feel free to ask, and I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. And the content is below like 50%, so keep that in mind while you're also watching the footage in the background. So to just even start off with the content, I do want to talk about all of the random bosses around the map. So honestly, on the map there's like what, 2 random mini bosses right now, or honestly 3 to 4 if you want to count it. There's like a little orc den. I went there once and I honestly got destroyed. And there's usually this one spider boss that breaks out of a cage and you kind of have to kill it. And there's wild boar, or like fire boars. Now honestly, the main reason as to why I'm talking about the random bosses being around the map, because it kind of just promotes a whole sense of exploration, which is probably going to be one of the main takeaways of this game. Like when you're walking around the map and you see these random bosses, it's just like wow, because you can choose to interact with them or you cannot, and depending on if you interact with it or not, you could get good loot. One of the main things that I want to emphasize in this video is that when you're playing this game, is you're going to be getting rewarded for the exploration. So if you take the time to run around the map and just talk to a lot of people, or look inside secret places that you usually wouldn't look, like let's say that you see a hole inside the ground and you're like, what if there's a rat inside that hole, and boom, you find like a dungeon overlord who has 1 million cash. It's like you're getting rewarded for exploring the game, which is honestly a perfect way to build the game. I'm surprised that most developers don't do that now. But they also have a grimoire progression and like puzzles for quests as well. Now for the grimoire progression, it's honestly not even like that hard. I personally only have 2 skills for my grimoire, and you also have to like get these weird fragments to upgrade your skills, and the other one you have to find a shrine specifically dedicated for your grimoire to get your grimoire skills. But mainly focusing on the puzzle aspect for some of the quests, it's just so much more entertaining for me versus having to just go to a certain NPC or a group of NPCs and having to fight it. So specifically for this one quest where it's like you have to kill some graveyard NPCs, when I first did this quest, I was honestly confused on what I had to do. I went to the area and I was just randomly walking around because my marker was saying that, oh, you have to be in this spot. I'm standing inside the spot and nothing's happening, and I accidentally stumble next to one of the pillars and I see like a text pop up briefly that says interact to continue. And it's like, yo, the fact that I literally have to interact with like a small little totem to spawn some ancient graveyard NPCs is just cool to me. I feel like more games should incorporate like a small little puzzle to try and fight a quest or to try and fight a boss, because it will feel a little bit more rewarding, and it could get tedious, so I don't want it to be too hard, and I also don't want it to be too easy, because then it would just be like, alright, this is just here to make it look different. The one inside this game is honestly very simple, and I feel like it's just the start of it. Like it's just the developers showing us a little bit of what they can do inside the future with some other taverns or whole entire exploration parts for this game. But honestly, the content for this game is just it's good so far. Like, it's leaving a good impact on me. I'm not gonna sit here and hype it up to you like it's the most content inside the world, and I haven't even like talked about all of the whole entire other factions that you can go. I'm pretty sure that there's only 2 right now, or the politics inside the game, because there is politics, and whatever you do inside the game for the town that you're in will influence your reputation with the other town. But I'm going to move on to the progression of the video. I mean, the progression for the game. Now, the progression of this game, it's low-key tied in with the content. Well, it's directly tied in with the content, but to actually progress inside this game, you do have to interact with the world around you and just talk to every single NPC that you see pretty much. I personally like it. It's literally promoting a whole kind of new progression where it's like, if you talk to an NPC, or if you spend the time of day to just like question why this is that, or why this is here, then you will be rewarded for it by getting like a random side quest where there was this random dude inside of a tower, like a mage tower, and he wanted me to go collect 10 flowers. I go and collect the 10 flowers for him, I do his quest, I go upstairs to his master, and I'm somehow getting a notebook telling me that I could create greater potions with like more potent effect by using these poisonous flowers with these blue flowers and some mushrooms. It's honestly crazy. I didn't do it yet, but I think it's just really good to show how all the side quests inside this game are just very good. Now, I haven't done every single quest inside this game, and all for the ones that I've done so far, each of them have been pretty interactive and involved me having to like find the NPC or just think back as to what I was doing before. Like, the quests, they aren't too hard to the point where it's like, alright, I'm doing this for what? A good amount of EXP? Isn't there like some bandits I could beat? But it's also not too easy to the point where it feels like I'm doing the same thing over and over again. I feel like this, like the simple formula that they have right now, if it just continues being expanded onto more content inside the game, like let's say that they add taverns and stuff, because the game it's not based on Black Clover, it's just using Black Clover, like some aspects of it as a base plate to expand off of it and make its own unique type of RPG dungeon game. It's honestly pretty good what they're doing so far. Like actually, I really do recommend playing this game when it comes out, or just like keeping it in the back of your head, because it's a pretty nice game. And this is just based off the early content that we're getting to test within the first 2 days. And if I'm being honest, it seemed like I was gonna follow a set storyline at first, but there's also a random quest board where it's like you can help out the faction that you're allied with, and depending what you do for that faction will also play into the politics of the world. So for example, I'm pretty sure that the 2 factions right now is there's a bandit group, and then there's like these knights group, and I'm currently like working with the knights because that's the town that I spawned in. And when I was killing some of the bandit NPCs, there was like a bar that popped up at the top of my screen saying how my reputation with the bandits of something will just be ruined. I don't know what it is, but then I also walked into that bandit area, and some NPCs strictly wouldn't talk to me just because I had good rep with the good guys. I honestly kind of like it, and I really do hope that like the developers expand on this feature and don't just leave it limited to like these 1 to 2 factions. I feel like if there's a group of like 50 factions, okay, 50 is a drag. Like, I feel like if there's a group of 5 factions that each have their own part on the map, and they each play like a different part inside the whole entire storyline that you're going to follow, would honestly just be such a very good and cool progression. And depending on which faction that you work with, the one likes you or the other one hates you, and sometimes some factions are allies, and maybe in like a daily newsletter some factions aren't allies. I feel like that would honestly just be really cool, and it's probably something to expect from this game, because the developers like they're really letting it be known that you're going to be progressing inside this game from exploring, and I really do like that. And I know it sounds like I'm just hyping up the game, but I'm generally just speaking off of what I've played so far. It is literally going to be a good game. The content is still very short right now, but all of the things that I've just shown at the start, it's just honestly such a good like base plate to have for your game and easily able to expand off of. But now I also want to talk about the combat. Now the combat inside this game, it is not going to be the best combat on Roblox that you've like experienced. I will honestly just tell you that. Personally, I would rather play Type Souls combat. I'm not gonna say that, but the combat is good. The combat is definitely good for what it is right now. It's just pretty simple. Recently there was a literal wave 1 tester tournament on the same day that we got in, and I was fighting inside of it. Now keep in mind, my skill is only like a healing skill and like a slashes type of skill, but the main thing about the combat is that it's pretty simple and you can do mix-ups if you just know what your skills are. The combat, it has parrying, it has evading, it has temporary iframes if you time your Q dash the right way. You can also block, and you have posture bar. It's honestly just like pretty simple-ish combat base plate, like is what you would expect in combat. But at the same time, the fact that you're fighting with your Grimoire and your weapon is pretty cool to me. Now, I don't know if you get skills on your weapon for like progressing it, or if you could strictly progress weapons and be like some dude who doesn't use magic at all. But what I do know is that you can use your Grimoire and weapon at the same time. I'm currently running a rapier with light magic because I kind of like the whole entire fast idea of, oh, I can M1 fast and I can use skills fast. Honestly, like, it just sounds pretty good to me. And when I was using that build inside the tournament, I'm not gonna spoil like where I place, but it's honestly just a good build. I'll leave some of the fights that's like up there in the background playing. I'm not gonna spoil the whole video because that could probably be in the video itself. It's like, if you also want to see more footage from this game, I can upload like the whole entire tester tournament, and I'm just going to base it off of how good this video does. So if you're interested inside the game and you want to see more, you literally just like and subscribe to let me know that you want to see more, because I really don't mind uploading this game, and I actually will be playing this game when it does release. But yeah, I do want to keep this video short because I also am on a time limit to actually play the game. It's only staying up for 2 days, and by the time you're watching this video, this is probably going to be the last day. So hopefully you did enjoy this video. Clover RPG is the name of the game. I'll leave a link to the Discord server inside the description of this video, so if you feel like you want to join it, then go ahead and join it. I don't know, there's like no release date at this time, no release date. There's not really any other way to get tester right now, but that will be changing sometime soon-ish. And outside of that, if you have any questions about the game that I can answer, I will answer. So thanks for watching, subscribe and like the video. Yeah.